Hi everyone, welcome to my first video. For this I've decided to do a series of 3 different videos. One would be doing my foundation and concealing and everything that goes along with it. The second one will be how I do my eyebrows, and the third one will be a smoky eye video for hooded lids. I hope you will enjoy it, and yeah, let me get started. So I start off with the Pore Fessional from Benefit, which I use on my T-zone and on my cheeks. It is an amazing product and it actually lasts really well. So I put this on with my fingers because I just feel the heat of my fingers lets it melt into my pores nicely, and it really smoothens out my skin. I follow this up with my CC cream from Bobbi Brown. It is the pale nude, and it is such an amazing product. As you can see, it's quite pink, but it evens out the redness in my skin, which bothers me quite a bit. So what I do is I just apply it like I would a face cream all over and make sure I blend out the edges, because otherwise it does leave a little bit of a pale pink hint. Sometimes I wear this just on its own if my skin is well behaved, and other times I use this as my primer. Make sure not to forget to blend by the edges of your nose and under your eyes. Okay, see, already most of the redness gone. My personal favorite foundations, or foundation, would be the Perfection Lumiere from Chanel, which I have in number 20 beige. It's quite buildable. So if I want a light foundation, I put one layer on, and if I want a bit more coverage, I build up the areas that need it. I apply with my fingers, and then I go over it with my beauty blender. Be sure to blend the edges well. The trick to working with one of these is to make sure that it is slightly moist. You do not want to use a dry beauty blender, as it sucks up quite a lot of the product. There are cases in which you do want to use a dry beauty blender, but that is something completely different, and we will be doing that in a different video. So right now, just make sure you moisten your beauty blender. I still have some spots that I do not like, that are showing through the foundation. So I'm going to be using my Bobbi Brown concealer stick in number 2 on those spots. And once again blending with my fingers, simply because I feel the heat of my fingers can blend the foundation a lot better. Okay, that is that. Then what I do for under eye concealing, I use my MAC Pro Longwear Foundation Concealer. I believe this is number NW20, and I use the tiniest little bit, like literally the tiniest little bit, hold on, like tiny little amount, and I apply with my ring fingers. In a V shape and under my nose area, which is usually quite red. make sure to pat instead of rubbing, as your skin under your eyes is very sensitive and you don't want to be causing any wrinkles later on in life. This I now set with, I mix a lot of products, my Bobbi Brown creamy concealer and pale yellow pressed powder, the combination. I use the powder over here, which is fantastic. I have yet to find one that can rival the color and the lasting endurance. So I just make sure to set under my eyes. And over here with my pale powder. Just everywhere I would like a little bit of a lighter color. So I'm not contouring or highlighting, but I'm just setting this with a lighter powder. So I'm going to be using my Chanel Desert Corail 61 as a bronzer, which was also part of my wedding makeup. And I am going to start off by applying it on the apples of my cheeks and by my cheekbones. And then continuing in the shape of a 3. So by the sides of the forehead and temples, under the cheekbone and by the jawbone. Until you're quite happy with the colour, which I am. Then just to give myself a little bit more of a cheekbone definition, I am going to follow it up with MAC Blush Baby, which has been my favourite blush for about the past 10 years, and I use it quite a lot in winter as a blush, but in summer as a cheekbone enhancer, which I do just there and a little bit by my temples.